Welcome back to the All Things Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez. As always, we're back again. This is the fourth year in a row, third time on YouTube, and obviously fourth time total because we did it the first time on Spotify. Welcome back, Gus.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start right away. We're not going to waste any time. Let's jump right into this. So, Atlanta Hawks, all right, this is the team that, you know, it's always they're in the play-in every single year. So it's like
they have a membership.
Yeah, they have a membership to the play-in. So 40-42 last year. Obviously, the play-in last year, 8th in the conference. The over/under is 46.5. Do you want to go first with this one?
46.5. Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the under.
You're going under on the. Okay.
I'm going under. Yeah, because the Hawks are gonna hawk.
You think they're gonna hawk?
Yeah, man. Like, okay, so they added Kristaps Porzingis. They added NAW.
They made a lot of moves, yeah.
But Jalen Johnson had a great year last year.
Yeah.
You know, he was averaging 19, 10, and 5. But
yeah,
he can't stay on the court. The last 3 years, he's averaged like mid-40s games played.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a young guy. Unless he, you know, somehow makes a big change and becomes more available.
Yeah. That's the way he plays too. It's kind of like,
I don't think they're gonna be like a play-in team again. Mm-hmm. But I think 46.5. I think they maybe get to like 44.
Well, if you take the under, they could probably end up there
in the East.
Well, you're right. That's a good point in the East. Yeah, because I'm looking now. So last year, let's say what was the over/under? It was 46.5. So yeah, you're right. So they could be like just outside of the play-in. You know, lock in like the 6th seed is where you kind of see them. Okay, so you're not a real believer.
I'm not.
But why though? Is it because of the Kristaps health thing? Like
so obviously Jalen. Yeah, so Kristaps obviously, I'm not expecting him to play too many games. Obviously, if things can change if everybody stays healthy, right?
Yeah.
So if Jalen Johnson and Kristaps and Trey all have great health this year, this team can certainly win 48-49. But I'm not counting on it. Another year of Zachary Ricochet. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that, he's going to obviously improve.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them, getting to that number. It's just slightly below that. Okay. And it's not by a lot, I don't know how much Alexander Walker changes things for them.
Yeah, Nikhil. Okay. So, all right. So you take the under. I was just in between because I feel like I take the over every time with the Hawks because I always think there's just no incentive to lose, especially last year, right? Like they had no real reason to lose. And this year, when I go through these notes, I see a team like all the writers in the offseason, they won the offseason, they got Kristaps, they got Nikhil, and then I was told that I put too much stock in the Kristaps needing to be healthy thing. Because I made a video, like a why you should watch the Atlanta Hawks. It got some love, it got some hate. And one of the things that was, I guess, the hate point, not hate, but I guess like a disagreement, is that I'm putting too much stock on Kristaps, like needing to be healthy. And I don't think you can put enough stock on that needing to be a factor. Like this guy is so damn good.
Yeah.
And he solves so many problems. Like Trae Young hasn't had a guy at that position as good as Kristaps. This is the best center / whatever, if you want to call him a power forward, he's ever had.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And he mixes, he meshes perfectly with him. You can play pick and rolls with him. He can find guys in the short roll. He's a shot blocker. He can protect the rim. He's going to space the floor. He can get to the rim himself. He solves a lot of problems himself, which is why I actually am going to take the over, surprisingly.
Okay.
I guess that's my surprise over because we disagree. And the reason I take the over is because, one, there's a lot of bad teams in the East. Right? This draft is going to be insanely deep. So a lot of teams are going to be incentivized to not win as many games. This is potentially going to be an all-time draft, like one of the greats if the projections hold.
I think if you notice, if you look back at Trae Young's career with the Hawks, he hasn't had too many winning seasons except for that one random season right after the bubble.
Yeah.
Aside from that, his teams don't win.
Middle of the pack.
Exactly. So that's why I'm kind of, I'm thinking they're going to be a slightly above 500 team.
Okay.
If And again, I could be looking back a year from now and be like, man, boy, was I wrong.
So here's my counter to that, right? Because I know what you're saying, but this is like, and I have it in my notes, like, this is going to be a legit season where he has help. And he has guys that fit around him that complement the things he can't do. So you still got Dyson Daniels, who, by the way, was my defensive player of the year. Yeah, I had him. So you still have him guarding, point of attack. You got Nikhil, another point of attack, two-way, more of an offensive weapon than Dyson Daniels, because obviously he's going to space the floor. He can play off the ball, do those kind of things. He knows how to play without the ball because he played with Kat, he played with Anthony Edwards, he played with Julius Randle, so he knows how to be that just extra piece on the floor and just fill whatever's needed. I think he's an awesome fit for them. And just going down the line, like Vik Krejci, like this dude is a 43% three-point shooter last year. He makes $3 million a year. Like, I mean, the value for what this guy can do, he's 6'8", like, he's a good passer. He can get to the rim. I don't know if you've seen Vik Krejci.
No, but I've seen...
This guy's nice.
When I was going through their roster, I was like, a 6'8" guard?
He's nice. He's very nice. And he's on a very nice contract. Then you got Luke Kennard, right? He's not going to help you with anything but shooting. Which is something the Hawks need, so he adds that. Okongwu, I like Okongwu. He's not like this game changer, but he's a damn good player.
He's solid, yeah.
Yeah, Mo Gay is a name to watch out for. 6'10", big. He moves well. Maybe he becomes something. Maybe he doesn't. You got something?
Let me ask you something. Yeah. What happens if Trae Young misses 2 weeks with a common injury he's had last year, an Achilles soreness?
Yeah, and that's where this thing.
Who's gonna be running point on that team?
I mean,
exactly.
You'd have to. It gets rough.
It gets dicey.
Gets rough. Yeah. Kobe Buffkin, if he's even available. Okay, so Asa Newell, though, their rookie, who I wasn't even aware of. I watched him in Summer League. This dude can play. He's lanky. He's athletic. He can shoot it.
That's how you lose games in the NBA, though. Huh? Rookie guards is how you lose games in the NBA.
Well, this is a big man.
Oh, sorry, this is a big.
My bad. Yeah, no. This guy is lanky. I didn't write down how tall he was, but this is a big dude, man. And he knows how to play. He plays hard, and he was blocking everything in Summer League. I mean, this dude has a lot of potential. So, like, this is a team that, like, I think I agree. Like, if I take the over, it's like a slight over. And we spent a lot of time on the Hawks. But I think, like, I'm banking on, look, man, like, if Trae's healthy, KP's healthy, and Jalen's healthy, which that's a lot of ifs. That's a big if. But if it is, they should hit the over, in my opinion.
So and you know what? I agree. If somehow they have health,
on paper this is over.
Yeah, right? On paper is over. On paper is over.
Okay, so all right, so let's move on to the Boston Celtics. We spent a lot of time on the Hawks. There's some teams here we won't spend too much time on. So Celtics, as a Heat fan,
what number do you have?
Huh?
What number do you
42 have? 42.5.
42.5. Okay.
What do you have in there?
40.5.
See, this was updated from the time that I did it, probably. Yeah. So do you want to go with the 42.5 or... Because I got to display something on the screen.
Let's do 42.5.
Okay.
Your pod.
So as a Heat fan...
Yeah.
How sweet does it feel to watch them have to do all this again and blow up the team?
I'm a basketball fan.
Okay.
So I really do like when the Celtics are good.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I feel like they're almost second to none in terms of atmosphere when the Celtics when that Celtics arena is when a big three comes down, the whole stadium goes off. I mean, I hate it as a Heat fan, but as a basketball fan, I'm like, man, this is
like the Knicks.
Yeah, like the Knicks.
When the Bulls are good.
Certain teams it's nice when they're good.
That's a good point, yeah.
So I do think that they're going to be better than that number. I think it's
better than 42.5?
Yeah, I think so. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
They did lose a lot. They lost
that's
Horford.
Your surprise over.
I guess so. I guess you can say that because, they lost Horford, KP, Drew Holiday, Luke Cornett. And obviously the big elephant in the room, Tatum, right?
Well, he's not going to play, right? So
during Tatum's career with the Celtics, the last 8 years, they have a record of 29-22 when he doesn't play. Just last year, they were 9-2 when he didn't play.
9-2, but there was Drew. There was, Kristaps.
Drew missed.
Was Kristaps in those games that he didn't play in?
That's a good question. I didn't check the stats.
Okay, because that makes
that would I guess that would apply some very important context.
There's Luke Cornett. There's
I do think though that the Celtics, they're very well coached.
Yeah.
And I think that, Jaylen Brown, he's going to have something to prove.
Okay.
And I think that they're going to go slide over right above 500.
Okay. So I'm actually surprised that you went over. Now, I think they're going to be better than people think. So I'm with you there. I'm taking the under. And it's because of something similar to what you said about the Hawks. Jaylen Brown goes down, which, by the way, is something pretty damn realistic with the kind of offensive load that he's going to need to take on now. He goes down, and the sustainability on this team, it's going to be challenged. And I don't think that this team, what's on paper here, is going to sustain Jaylen Brown being out of lineups, especially when you're playing, some Western Conference teams here and there. You're playing some of the tough teams in the East that are obviously they're going to be playing against. Yeah, there's some bad teams, but there's a lot of good teams, like good bad teams, I should say, right? Too, that are, going to be in the mix and make things annoying, like Portland, and we'll talk about them later. So, that's my whole thing. Like, he goes down, this thing kind of probably falls apart, right? Like, if you're one of those Jaylen Brown, if only he could just have his own team, like, if you're one of those guys, this is the season for you. Because now there's no Tatum, this is Jaylen Brown, and a lot less help. So, it's going to be a lot of usage on Jaylen Brown, and if you're also a Derek White guy that thinks, hey, man, what could this guy do with a little more usage? It's another season for a guy like that, right? So we get to see him too. So that's really interesting for any Peyton Pritchard fans that want to see this guy get more run. This is another season for that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of I'd love to see that guy on a team with less help. This is a good place for these three guys. And I've heard rumors that he's going to start for the Celtics. So that puts Anthony Simons coming off the bench potentially. I think that he's probably going to get moved again. He was like a money-saving trade move.
Yeah.
They saved, I think, like $40 million or something like that. So, that's going to be interesting if you're a fan of these kind of guys, Hugo Gonzalez, 19-year-old rookie, 6'6" point guard. You hear about the potential he has. I watch him in Summer League. I wasn't really a fan. He's going to take some time. He's definitely a project player. This is also one of those, if you're not a Missoula believer, this is a chance for you to either say, I told you so. What is he going to do with lesser help on the roster? Or it's a chance for you to be proven wrong, that he can actually do something with a little less.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. And you're starting to convince me a little bit because,
but I'm taking the under. I think there's too much on this roster. I love Neemias Queta, by the way. I've been a fan of him since he was drafted. This is he plays for Portugal right now in Eurobasket, but he's a high energy guy. He just does what he's good at. He doesn't play outside of himself, but you're looking down the line, man. No Luke, no Drew, no Kristaps, no Tatum. It's a lot.
Now that I think about it, there really isn't a reliable center on that roster.
And then Al Horford's gone as well, right?
Al Horford's gone, KP, Cornette, which are the three centers they had last year. I changed my mind.
Oh, you're taking the under live on this?
Me.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to change mine right here, under.
Okay, cool. So we both go under. Let's move on then.
There you go.
All right, so moving on. Brooklyn Nets. I've convinced Gus to change it live on the pod. That doesn't happen a lot.
Doesn't happen a lot. Usually I did my research, and I think really mostly it was because the number I was going by was 40.5.
Yeah.
And I thought
that's fair.
Slightly above that, but then 42 is that is a little bit.
We're talking playing.
Yeah.
And by the way,
maybe
I think they'll be good enough to kind of touch that play-in area, but I'm taking the under for them. All right, so Brooklyn Nets. This was a team we both took the under. We both got wrong. Shout out to Jordy Fernandez because he had these guys playing just competitively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll go with this one. I'll start here. So I'm taking the under. I'm not going to waste any time. I think this team is going to be really bad. And I watched them in Summer League and love the picks. It's gonna take some time for some of those guys. I made a video on them.
They're taking swings, man. They're just one of these point guards has to hit.
Yeah. And by the way, the bad season they had last year, win-wise, what do they get for such a horrific end to a season, right? For the fans, they get an 8th pick in the lottery. So it's like, Jesus rough. Christ, what are we doing? So that had to hurt people hoping to get a higher pick. Now, look, man, this is gonna be the Michael Porter Jr. show. All right, so that'll be fun. If you have League Pass and you kind of want to check him out, he's been trending recently. He's kind of, I was wondering what could the Nuggets get for him on the market because he makes a lot of money. He's got the back stuff. He's had some injuries here and there, and he's inconsistent, and he's lackadaisical sometimes on defense, but he's talented.
He is, but recently he's been a little bit controversial on the web, and some teams may be like, is he really worth the trouble?
Yeah, and the Nets are like, we'll see. We'll take a shot at him. Maybe we can up his value, move him again. Who knows? Cam Thomas, the unrestricted free agency, back. It went as expected, but then because I was like, there's no way they're gonna pay this guy so much money, and all of a sudden he just takes the qualifying offer. So now they can't trade him, which is something I wasn't aware of. Contract-wise.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that they couldn't trade you if you pick your qualifying offer. There's like a no trade clause now.
So I guess a similar thing with Kuminga in Golden State.
Not yet. He has until October. I forget the date, but he has until somewhere in October. I think that the Warriors can extend that date. If I'm not wrong, I did some research on that because I was really interested in the contract stuff. Mm-hmm. He wanted a Tyler Hero type of contract. Yeah, the Cam Thomas, but obviously he didn't get that. So now he's playing for his next contract. So he's probably gonna walk. After this year, he's gone.
He's shooting. He's gonna go gunslinging.
Yeah, and just to talk about the qualifying offer, I don't like when players kind of take that gamble because now you're at the mercy of the coach and the franchise. Are they gonna play you a lot? Are they gonna pull you and hurt your value? Yeah, that's the sneaky stuff that happens behind the scenes. Now all that aside, this guy's a bucket. He's so fun to watch. So the Nets made history on draft night. I'll just go through it real quick. They used all 5 of their first round picks. That hasn't been done since the Minnesota Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. So they drafted Yegor Dioman, which, by the way, I like him a lot. I was impressed with he didn't care. He was shooting. The shot looks really nice. He's a little afraid of contact. Doesn't really put the ball down to get to the rim. He's more of a pick and roll, playmaking, really tall guy that, he has a high IQ. He's a competitor, but if he doesn't get a screen, doesn't look like he gets by guys. So that's going to be something interesting. They took a eighth, and that was a big surprise. Nolan Traore, the French guard, he is
lightning
bullet.
Quick.
Bullet, super fast, good body control. I did a video on the net, so for anyone interested in these guys specifically that were selected, just check out that video and you'll get a little more detail. Drake Powell, who they drafted, he was out for summer league. He had knee tendonitis, so I didn't even get to check him out. Ben Saraf, he's this Israeli 6'6" point guard. He's got good footwork. I really like him. Good passer.
Yeah, he reminds me of Goran Dragic.
He's kind of like a Dragic, though he can't shoot to save his life. So that's the other thing. Plays off 2 feet. He can drive to the rim. He's not afraid of contact. All really good notes on him. And there's Danny Wolf, right? 7-foot center, who I was talking to you about, and some other people. This guy can pass. This guy can score. He's really fun to watch. He's got some work cut out for him defensively and stuff like that. So, look, man, I'm taking the under. I don't think we should spend any more time than that. Are you going over or under?
Absolutely the under. You mentioned earlier, Jordi Hernandez is a great, not great. He's a pretty decent coach. So the front office, what they've done is that they gutted the roster. Yeah. They took any talent that was there, take it out. Yeah. You're not going to win, buddy.
And maybe Jordi will surprise us again. Yeah. And he'll surpass because 20 is low.
It is low.
20 is low.
It is low.
It's a really low number.
Yeah. But I think, like you said, it's going to be a good draft. They have their pick this year, so I believe that they're going to try to,
Yeah. I believe in Jordi Fernandez. I love the coach, All right, so let's move on. Charlotte Hornets, 27.5 is what I have on my notes. They finished 19-63. Horrific season. Mm-hmm. A team I took the under on. I think you vowed to never take the over again until they surprise you. Yeah. LaMelo, here's some notes I have. He's played 105 games in the last 3 seasons. Okay, so that's Jesus. He played 47 last year. Okay, so this season that just passed. And I said last year on this pod, I believe, that if he had another season with significantly missed time, that they're going to have to start looking at his trade value, moving him, go through the Brandon Miller route, right? And just kind of start looking elsewhere to build. Yeah. And I have that same sentiment this year because clearly nothing's happened, right? They're still sticking to the LaMelo thing. I suspect that this is his last chance to get it right. If he has another 40-game season, he's got to be out the door, bro. Yeah,
absolutely.
Where are you with these guys, though?
I'm definitely taking the under.
Okay.
Like you mentioned, Bob barely plays. Yeah. Brandon Miller, I like his game. He played 27 games last year. Yeah. They were 11-16 when he played. Mm-hmm. So, they're still a bad team.
Yeah.
But it's clear that this team is headed towards they're trying to tank.
Okay.
They don't have a center.
Whether they want to tank or not, they have no choice.
They have no choice. They got Colin Sexton, which is a nice pickup.
Good pickup.
But to be honest, he doesn't really contribute to winning. So
this is the guard show, by the way. I mean, they got Trey Mann. They got obviously LaMelo Ball, Con Canuple, I guess you could consider.
Yeah.
Who else is out here? Guard. Who did you just mention?
Colin Sexton.
Colin Sexton's there. There's just a lot of guards here.
Yeah.
So they'll be fun to watch on League Pass for sure. To the Con Canuple part, I was a huge fan of him pre-draft. This guy can play.
Yeah, you told me about him.
He wins games, plain and simple. He's a winner. You draft this guy, he's going to know what to do. He may not be this special, unique talent with athleticism. He's going to help you win games. And he just knows how to play basketball. Like, those are always guys that I just love watching,
Yeah, I'm curious about him because when you look at it, at least for me, when I saw his tape, I wasn't impressed.
Right.
I was like,
right.
I don't get it. Why is he such a high lottery pick?
Yeah.
But,
we'll watch him in Summer League. This dude was just unbelievably competitive.
Summer League champs.
Plays off 2 feet. He can knock down shots. Just knows how to pass the ball. He can play in pick and rolls. This guy, man, he can do a little bit of everything, man. Then there's Liam McNeely, who I wasn't really aware of. They drafted him as well. That's another gem, potential diamond in the rough that they just drafted. Tijon Salon, we knew he was going to be a project when they drafted him in the lottery. He's still got a long way to go. So center depth, it's not really there.
No.
So Moussa Diabate, who I've talked about like a year ago, he's going to get a lot of run, just nice athlete, French forward, kind of sleeper rebounder if you want to place some bets on him, which I always talk about. Grant Williams, who I always forget he's on this team. Spencer Dinwiddie signed Spencer Dinwiddie's another guard on this team.
Oh, that's where he went. I was wondering where he went.
Yeah, so it's like this team is just stacked with guards. But yeah, we're both taking the under. I don't think we're, Side note, I do want to say something about the Brandon Miller thing, man. There's a game it's in December against Paul George that I rewatched. This dude dropped 34 on the Sixers. They lost. I think it was in overtime because I forgot at this point. That game told me that this guy is going to be a superstar. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
This guy's special. And I was flat out wrong about this guy when he got drafted because I wasn't a fan. All right, so we both took the under. So both take the under. Let's go Chicago. I'll let you go first. The number's 31.5, what I have here.
Yeah, I got 32.5, but it won't make a difference because I don't get it. They won 39 games. Was it 39? 39 games last year.
Yeah.
They won a lot of games at the end of the season.
Yeah.
How much of that is real? Because it's at the end of the
and
the
they had
season.
Levine for like 20 of those, right, or something like that. It was like 30 of those games.
Yeah, the beginning of the season. Yeah, which Levine was playing pretty well.
He was balling. Yeah, what he was doing. Yeah,
they re-signed Giddey, but I think Billy Donovan's gonna have him playing hard. I think that they get over that number.
You're taking the over.
I'm taking the over on Chicago.
Wow. Okay, because you like because you're saying 39 last year, but that 39. I think 20 of those wins was Levine on the lineup. So that is like...
when they started playing well, I feel like it was towards the end of the season after Levine was gone.
It was like, I think when I did the research, which, man, I wish I wrote it down. I'm pretty sure like they basically won almost the same amount of games with Levine. And then the second half of that season, after they traded Levine, they went on that run where they had a really good second half. I wish I had that in my notes. But yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, 31.5 is low. They got to 39 last year, but then I'm like, hold on, let me look at the lineups, like, because Levine was there. And this is a team, like, look, let's go through the stuff right now. So you're taking the over, okay? Now I have this. Like, they draft Noah Esenge, okay? Like, he's going to be a project guy. He had good flashes in Summer League. He's this lanky, just like wing kind of guy that's like a two-way player. I actually like the shot mechanics. I'm not a fan of him, though. So he's going to have to prove me wrong. Matas Buzelis going into his second year, the knock on him is the same to me. Are the handles real? Because I think they are. But is the shot going to fall? Because that's the thing that's going to haunt him, Like, he's this guy, oh, my God, the size, the mobility, the athleticism, the confidence. Like, he plays with a swagger. I love watching him play. He gets some crazy dunks in transition and stuff like that.
He really does.
And he never quits on the play. Like, if there's an offensive rebound, he'll catch it again and just cut to the basket. I'm a fan of him. I just need to see the shots start to fall. I know he's going into his second season, so still plenty of time to grow. I just think that this iteration of the Bulls, here's my main reason for taking the under, which, by the way, yes, I'm taking the under. So, like, in my notes right here, they have a chaotic season ahead of them, and this is why. They got guys on expiring contracts. That's Kobe White, Vucevic, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, Dalen Terry, and that makes for like I said, a chaotic season because there's a lot of guys trying to play for that next contract. You can look at it on the other side of the coin and be like, well, they're going to ball.
Yeah.
And yes and no. Like, some guys will end up balling. Some guys will end up being selfish and trying to kind of show something because they need to get paid. So, that could go either way, and this is just like, they're going to have a lot of cap space. They have all the incentive to lose because of the draft. I'm just thinking this team takes a step back because now it's a full season of this young core without some of those vets, that they had to kind of guide them along the way. You're banking on what they did in the second half of the season. I respect it. I'm just going to take the under. I don't think, so we'll disagree. So Cleveland Cavaliers, all right, the Cavs, 64-18 last season. I think we both took the over. We got that right. This year, they knocked them down, 56.5 on my side.
I guess they don't trust them after the playoff performance, but,
Or they care that Max Strus is going to miss time, right? Like, that's what knocked them down. Yeah, so, okay, you go ahead. I'll let you go.
I'm taking the over.
Okay, I mean.
Yeah. I think they're going to be a really good regular season team.
Yeah.
Max Strus is going to miss some time. They lost Ty Jerome.
That's right.
They did get Lonzo Ball.
They got Lonzo Ball.
That's an interesting pickup.
He's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their playoff was left a lot of people with a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah. Like that the year before that.
They did get injured.
They did.
They did. Is Garland going to be ready?
I don't know.
Because that's something that I saw recently that he was they're expecting him to be ready for training camp. But so that's going to be something interesting. But I'm still taking the over just because the East is so bad. I think they're going to be, talent-wise, they're going to be one of the better teams in the East.
Sprained left toe. That slipped through the cracks. I actually didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he ended up getting surgery on it.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to miss the time to start the season, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be why. That could be why they're also like kind of worried about that number.
Him and Max Strus are two starters, essentially. So they can start the season with like a different starting lineup.
Yeah. Well, DeAndre Hunter, right?
DeAndre Hunter, now you got a full season.
You got Dean Wade still, I think. I think they still have Dean Wade on this team. Pretty sure they still have him. I mean, look, man, this is a team. They're going to be a great regular season team. I'm taking the over too. They had an amazing season. Like, look at what they did last year. They had Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter in the mix for Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay. They have Evan Mobley, who won Defensive Player of the Year. They had Kenny Atkinson, who won Coach of the Year. And then you got, superstar Donovan Mitchell. If you consider him a superstar, I think he is.
Yeah.
This team is just built to win games. And this isn't a pod about the playoffs. This is about what are they going to do in the regular season.
Exactly.
And they're going to be one of the great teams in the regular season. Like, there's really, you got that Mobley-Allen combo. It's just the size, the length, like the mobility. You got the lob, the two-man duo. You pick one of them to play with in a pick and roll, and one of them lobs it to the other. You got three-point shooting around them. This is a formula for 60 wins in the regular season. Like, whether Strus is in or not, whether Garland's in or not, you could argue they're going to be better defensively if Garland's not playing anyway.
That's true.
So, I mean, there's like that thing, right? So, yeah, we both go over. I don't think we need to spend much time on them, know.
Yeah,
pretty simple. All right, so Detroit Pistons, 44-38 last year. They completely took the league by storm, because they flipped the narrative on them on its head, right? Like, I'm having a really hard time with this one still, even now, because usually I have my answer already written down, and I'm still, because they lost some guys, they brought some guys, and it's like that thing we always talk about. Now teams will be ready for the Pistons show, because it was a nice story. They caught everyone by surprise, and they were playing great basketball. They were tough, man. Offense looked good.
Yeah. Defense
looked good. The lobs, I think that was the leading action for them was the Cade to Duren lob. You got Asar Thompson another year in. Did I let you start with the Cavs, or was that me?
I believe you started.
Okay, so go ahead. I'll give you the Pistons to start.
All right, this one may be a little bit of a surprise.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
All right.
I'm going to take the under.
What do you have? 45.5, right?
45.5.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
taking the under, and I'll explain why.
All right.
So last year, during the first half of the season, they were very pedestrian.
Yes.
21-20.
Yes.
Middle of the pack in 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
What happened in the second half of the season when they went 23-18?
Mm-hmm.
They were top 10 in 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Guess who stood out?
Malik Beasley.
Malik Beasley
had his best shooting.
Was Steph Curry. Yeah. He was Steph Curry.
Basically, yeah, he made. Didn't he make more threes than him for the season?
Yeah,
or almost.
Or right up
something
there.
Like
certainly.
that. Yeah.
Was shooting at 7 attempts per game, over 40%.
He ain't here.
And guess what? He's no longer there. Instead, you're replacing him with Duncan Robinson, my good friend.
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson. Which I'll be honest with you, Malik Beasley is a better shooter.
Okay.
In a basketball game, in an open gym, who knows? But
okay.
So I'm taking the under because I don't think that second half is replicable.
Okay. So you take the under. Is that all you got?
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Ivey's back, but and he was balling last year, but I don't know how much of a difference he's gonna make because, like I said, in the first half, they were spamming the Cade kicking, what do you call it? Drive and kick.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where I have to kind of think about it from like big picture Eastern Conference, because that's kind of how you have to do it. Okay, are they better than Indiana this year? They should be.
I don't know.
They should be.
I don't know.
I'm not saying they are. Like and I don't mean better as in like if they matched up in the playoffs. Here's one thing I need to make clear about this pod. When I say better right now, I'm talking strictly standings? Like record. Okay, so record wise, should we expect the Pistons to have a better record than Indiana?
They should.
I think you should.
Yeah.
The Heat, you should. The Bucks, maybe. The Magic, probably not. Right? The Sixers, you could. Because they got the health problems. We'll get to them in a little bit. The Wizards, yes. The Raptors, yes. That's a lot of teams that they're better than record-wise, potentially, when the season's over.
Yeah.
That puts them in that mix, because they're going to have a better record than the Celtics. Are they? You're going to put the Celtics over the Pistons regular season? No. So that's another... So that lead, and better than the Bulls. That's a lot of teams.
I mean, we're not saying that they're going to win like 37 games, but...
No, but
are they winning 46?
But are they winning more games than all those teams? Maybe. Then the Wizards, the Raptors, the Heat, maybe the Pacers, the Bulls for sure, the Hornets for sure, the Nets, the Celtics. I mean, the Pistons are going to rack up wins.
I don't know if they're going to be better than the Heat. And I'll tell you why.
All right. Why don't you get to that when we get to the Heat, which is a couple teams down. All right, so whatever. I'm going to take the over. All right. I believe in what I saw from Jaden Ivey before he got hurt. I was a fan of him at Purdue. He was balling. He was having a breakout year before he had the injury. That sucked to watch.
Yeah.
The Cade Durn pick and roll, that's not going anywhere. All right. So that's still going to be a thing. You still have the shooting, right? Because obviously you bring Duncan Robinson. Is he Malik Beasley? No. Can he be Malik Beasley, schematically speaking, like what he's going to be doing, the same things, running off screens, space the floor, catch and shoot, off the dribble, whatever? He's going to do those things. Now whether it falls at a clip of a Malik Beasley, that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Duncan Robinson, he has not had a point guard like Cade Cunningham, right? So
you're right.
That's another thing that I like to kind of take into account. Dennis Schroeder's gone. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s gone. Like we said, obviously Malik Beasley's gone. They've lost guys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I struggled with. So I know, man. Like I'm thinking, part of me thinks they could take a step back after they exceeded expectations, because now they have to do it again under the scope of, hey, you did it last year, you better do it this year. There's a little bit of pressure with that.
Yeah.
And the Pistons fans are great fans. They're one of the great fans in basketball. Like they show up for their team. There's a lot of loyal Pistons fans that just, they I don't know how they watched all those games all these years. So it's like, what do we do? I'm going to bank on their hunger, like getting a taste of what a competitive season felt like. And Bickerstaff's not going to let them loose, right? He's not going to let them sleep, right? Fall asleep behind the wheel. He's a rah-rah coach, high energy. He's a competitor. I'm just banking on all that. And I'm banking on how bad a lot of these Eastern Conference teams are. And I think the Pistons are going to I think Cade Cunningham figured out how to win games, and he still has help to do it. So do we disagree there then? So I take the over, you're taking under?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we'll go with that.
Cool. All right, so Indiana Pacers, 50-32. The over-under is really low.
Really low.
37.5.
I had a hard time with this one.
Okay, you go ahead. Actually, wait, did you go with the Pistons?
Yeah, I went first with the Pistons.
All right, so look, at this point, I guess it's a surprise. I'm going with over. I'm taking the over. Look, man, 37.5. This is a team that, when you talk about the offense, how they score, it's randomized offense. It's a lot of motion. It's ghost screens. It's swing. It's drive and kick. It's threes. It's a lot of sharing the ball. They know how to play, and they play fast, and they are just it's a very cohesive unit.
Yeah.
And you're giving the ball to Pascal Siakam. He knows what it's like to have that responsibility. And now he's going to have the freedom of, hey, man, now I got the ball. I'm playing in pick and rolls. I'm slashing. I'm going to have the shooting around me. I got Jay Huff now in place of Miles Turner, who he might not be a Miles Turner, but he could probably do a damn good impersonation of it, assuming he's going to be playing major minutes. I'm a fan of him. I like him a lot. They turned around their defense, right? Maybe they're going to be just as good defensively, or maybe not, because now Andrew Nembhard has to take on a more of an offensive load. And then also we'll see if he can stay away from fouling, right? Because that's another thing, because he's a great defender. We saw him in the finals and the playoffs. Stu can defend.
He's going to have to maybe tone down the physicality.
Right, because now we need you on offense as well,
exactly.
Right? And then also, Aaron Nesmith, right? Like there's going to be a little more responsibility offensively, but I think Rick Carlisle is exactly the coach to get something done like this, right? This is a team that they surprise you. They always win more than you think they're going to win, and that gives me the reason to take the over. Also, if you're a Ben Mathurin fan, I think he's going to be starting this season from what I've seen, from what I've read around, and this could be I think he's playing for a contract, right? Let me see. Yeah, he's going into restricted free agency. So this is one of those factors, right? He's either going to be selfish or he's just going to, be good with the team and they're going to win a lot of games. I like his mentality. I think he's all about winning. He's going to get a chance to show it. So,
It's crazy because you can't see my screen.
No.
You literally took all my points.
Oh, everything.
Every little thing I said. Miles Turner.
And we don't even talk about
Andrew Nembhard as a PG. TJ McConnell.
Yeah. I didn't talk about TJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, TJ McConnell, he's I guess more playing time for him. But pretty much to echo what you said, I think Carlisle's going to have them be a competitive team since he's arrived. And granted, when he arrived, he also got Halliburton. But since he's arrived, he's always had them play competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the slide over.
Okay.
They're not going to be like, maybe they're going to be knocking at the door of the play-in, but it's going to be right there.
Yeah, I think they hit 40. I think they're going to hit it. I think they are. All right. They just know their formula. You know what I mean? Like, Halliburton's a big miss. They're going to miss him. But, man, this team knows how to play.
They play the same way.
Yeah.
They play fast.
It's a random offense. It's exactly what I'm helping the kids in the high school that I'm with. That's what they're learning right now is random offense with modern actions. And they're just reading and reacting. So, all right. So, this is your time to shine. The Miami Heat. All right? It's a great time to be a Heat fan.
Yeah. Great time.
You're a Heat fan. I'm not a Heat fan. I just want to say that. I want to make sure you guys know. All right, so go ahead. 38.5 is the over-under.
This is an easy over.
Easy over?
Easy over, yeah.
Okay.
This is almost a lock.
All right, okay. You take the over every year, I think, no?
Feels like, you know what I mean? I'm a bit of a homer. I'm wearing a Heat shirt just in case.
That's true.
They had many clutch games last year. They were 14-28 in clutch games.
Yeah. Okay.
They finally get rid of Jimmy.
Right.
Which, that was a dark cloud. They pretty much were gifted Norman Powell for practically some chips.
That was a nice trade.
Under the couch. And I'm thinking that there's going to be a bounce back year for Bam Adebayo, who sneakily had a really good second half of the year.
He did.
And, we're going to say it quietly because they lost like 10 or like 7 or 10 in a row or something like that.
He had a down year, in my opinion, overall.
He had a down year.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah. But like the second half of the year, when you inserted Khalil Ware into the starting lineup, he was averaging, I think it was like 20 and 10.
Yeah.
I think he shot 40% from 3-pointer the second half. Over in the whole season, he ended up at 35, which is surprising because the first half of the year he couldn't buy a 3-point bucket. You're expecting a big jump from Niko Jovic.
Yeah.
Jaime Jaquez, we're gonna find out if is
he real?
Is he really more the rookie Jaime Jaquez, or was it more like last year?
And why he fell in the draft.
Exactly.
I think he's a good player, though. I think he'll have a good season this year.
Yeah, and I think they're going to win somewhere around like maybe 43, 44 wins.
Okay, so you took the over.
Yeah.
All right. So, look, at a glance, 38.5, it always feels low, especially when you're talking about the Heat. Like, this is a team that you give them a low number, you're always scared if you take the under because you just know this team is annoying. They're going to find ways to win. They're never going to tank. LeBron could be coming up in the draft, and they have this roster, and they're going to play.
They won't.
They don't care. They're not going to tank. So it's like, you love and you hate it, because you know that sometimes that's just the right direction to go when you just got nothing left to do. Bam is making $50 million.
Yeah.
Okay. He's 28 years old, so he's right in his prime. He's at his best. He is their most valuable trade asset right now. He is still one of the best defenders. Forget about the position. One of the best defenders in the league. Now, I like his switchability. I like all the things that he does for the Heat. I think that it's time to trade him. I think at the money he's making, next season, by the way, like that's when a lot of teams are now going to have cap space. There's going to be like 10 plus teams with cap space. Is everything you read online. So that could, that's why I don't think he'll be moved this season, but this offseason, depending on what happens here, I think he's going to be on the move, because, again, there's going to be teams with cap space, and a lot of teams want a Bam Adebayo. You best believe that,
If the Heat operated like a regular NBA team, I would tell you absolutely.
Yeah,
but they have this weird...
Do you agree, though, that he should be moved soon?
It hurts to say, but yeah.
And it's not because he's not good.
No, but
he's great.
I feel like exactly.
Yeah.
You reached the point where all right, you're not going to win a championship with this core.
You're far away.
You're far away from it, so you might as well head the other direction. Try to,
And you can get a lot for Bam, dude.
Yeah.
But
look, instead what they end up doing is that they end up getting more competitive pieces like Norman Powell.
They don't care. They're like, no, we're going to win, and we're going to win as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. They re-signed Davion Mitchell, which I
like that signing. Yeah. He's a Heat guy.
He's a Heat guy.
He's a super heater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They brought back. This is gonna go into like niche Heat.
I think I know who you're talking about. The guard,
Drew Smith.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I'll be honest with you,
he's good, man. He's good.
You watch Drew Smith for like the last 3 years where he was like a two-way player, and then you watch him in
both
summer.
His ACLs?
He tore his ACL 1 year. Then he tears his Achilles another year.
Yeah, he's like a come-up story.
Yeah,
I liked his story.
But the crazy thing is he was a two-way player, and everybody that I would talk to that's a Heat fan would be like, I don't see it. I don't get it. Why is he? Yeah. Why does he keep getting the two-way?
Yeah.
Why does he keep getting the standard contract? And then last year he finally showed. He was just a menace on defense. Was hitting the open shots, and then he tears his Achilles. And I guess the Heat are just rewarding his hard work and giving him a pretty good deal where it's only guaranteed the first year. Yeah. So if he doesn't come back to form, they can just cut him.
Yeah. But, they got nothing to lose with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, I'm taking the over as well. I just think 39 wins.
Yeah.
The Heat can definitely do it, especially with these guys. I think like not having Jimmy now to start the year is just fresh. It's a clean palette, I guess you could say. It's just like a fresh start. So that's cool. Kasparas Jakučionis, I've been talking about him for months before the draft. I was telling a bunch of guys, and it was so funny to watch the Heat take him.
Yeah, no.
All my friends are basically Heat fans because we live here, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, and then I looked pretty bad because Summer League was not nice to Kasparas Jakučionis.
Well, Sacramento Summer League wasn't. But Vegas, when you look at the numbers, he wasn't terrible, and I think
the California Classic. You're saying he was bad.
Yeah, and I think the problem was that they had him play off ball.
Yeah, and he's playing with a lot of guards.
Exactly.
So it's like, you pass it to this guy. Nope, I'm going to attack a closeout and kick it again. That's what the other guys are going to do. So it's like, and then he was missing a lot of open shots, though. So, like, and the passes, like, his passing ability was something I was a fan of, and the timing's off. I know the chemistry's off because you just don't play with these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, the touch on the passes is a little rough. Like, the timing, the shooting, though, the shots were pretty bad misses. And he was wide open on a lot of looks.
Well, that was a knock on him. The what do you call it? The turnovers.
Yes. Yeah. And the lack of like body, right? You know, like just this guy is
honestly, I was impressed with his defense.
He looked better than what people thought.
He looks like a big 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Like his body's like wide. I think he's like 212 or something.
He did surprise me on defense in Summer League because everything about him was, he's not going to be able to hold his own. So we'll see. Those aren't NBA guys he's guarding, so we'll see. That is true. All right. So cool. We both take the over. We can move on. Let's go to the Bucks. 48-34. I'll just go right into this because we are extending a little bit on some of these teams. So I feel like we're going to disagree on this one. I have a feeling because you don't seem too keen on this team right now.
Actually, I think we may agree.
I'm going over. Same I don't care. 42.5 is pretty damn low. It's a Giannis team. Giannis was 30, 12, 6, 1-1. All right. Just a monster. And by the way, I'm watching him in Eurobasket, and he's good. You know, he's still dominant, but with that no 3 seconds, there's no defensive 3 seconds in Eurobasket, so they just pack that paint. And man, there's times where he looks rough. He is so lucky that's not a rule in the NBA.
Yeah,
because he would not be as dominant.
I saw a clip of him. I think it was yesterday where he was literally quadruple teamed.
Yes.
By who was it? Was it Turkey?
It might have been Turkey. Yeah, I was watching that game this morning. Yeah, they were just walled up. But every team does that. You know. So, and they're just like, hey, you other guys, Lucas, whatever the other names are for the Greek players, and they're just breaking. Yeah, you got to be frustrated if you're Giannis, man, going through that, man. So, look, man, the Dame and Giannis pairing, we were all wrong about it, right? I don't know anyone that thought that was not going to work. Not saying that the defense was going to be good by the Bucks because everyone said that was going to be the knock because Drew was gone. But I think everyone just assumed, hey, man, you got one of the best scoring guards in the league. I think he's a top 75 player, isn't he? Wasn't he listed?
He is.
You got one of him. You got one of the best players at the position in Giannis. You know, he's an all-NBA first team kind of guy. So you're thinking, all right, takes a load off Giannis. Giannis can focus a little more defensively. And then I started to see the holes in Giannis's game. Screen setting, not good at setting screens. You would think that a guy with his size and mobility, he could set good screens to create separation. He's not that good of a screen setter. I learned that about him when I was watching him with Dame. And then I start to see the problems with a team like that. You got Dame who likes isolation and bad shots. You got Giannis who likes to isolate, and he can only really score mid-range and in. And then he's rough at the free throw line. Yeah. And everyone's just standing around. And it becomes this stagnant offense. And then you got Gary Trent. Oh, finally, I got the ball on a kick out. Now I'm going to take a contested three because I never get the ball. So it just made for bad, stagnant offense. You know, and they're still going to score a bunch of points because it's Dame and Giannis, but just didn't work out, you know, and now they had to stretch Dame contractually, right? So they can help Giannis now. This is falling apart. This team is aging. There's no assets really. When you talk about what can they trade to bring back some help. So, you know, it's looking rough for them, you know. They got Miles Turner. If you want to succeed with Giannis, you need a stretch big that can pull out rim protectors and sides so that he can just attack the rim. He's got shooting around him. He still has Taurean Prince. They got Gary Harris from the Magic. He can shoot it. He still has his guys that are going to spread the floor and shoot around him. You know, so there's still going to be a good offensive team. You know, it's just I guess all we care about on this pod anyway is the over-under. So you tell me, where are you at? Because I'm taking the over.
I'm taking the over. Yeah. You know, they had they brought in Cole Anthony, which
Cole Anthony, completely forgot.
From your Magic.
Yeah.
They had an 8-game winning streak at the end of last year.
Okay.
Which was after Dame was missing time with the vein.
Wasn't that a bunch of bad teams they played though?
Yeah, but you know what? They showed something.
Okay.
And I think that Doc Rivers, you know, for all his flaws, I think he's a good regular season coach. And I think that it's a Giannis team. Yeah. They're likely going to win high 40s.
Does this scare you, though? Because if you're a Bucks fan, you know about all the knee cleanup procedures that Giannis has had. Almost every year, it feels like he has one.
Yeah.
And I have watched some videos on what that actually means. And it's not necessarily, they just clean it up and whatever. They're removing things when they do these knee cleanups. I used to think it was like, okay, they're healing him. Not really. Like they're like taking things away from his knee. Now,
is it like scar tissue or something?
I don't know what it is exactly, but it doesn't necessarily make him better long term. You know, these are like quick things. And I'm thinking he's playing all this extra Eurobasket time, you know, and I'm watching him get beat on closeouts. And maybe it's because he's saving himself for a long season that's coming. I wouldn't expect him to be 1,000% defensively for Greece. But, you know, you throw that into the mix, and if he misses time, is this team going to win games?
That's what
That's what worried me when I was looking at this over-under. But then I'm like, 42, that's where they're at, you know? That's where they're at. 43, 44 play-in team type thing, you know?
And I'm thinking that number is like maybe assuming that Giannis will miss some time because, it's going to be a high-usage season for him.
Yeah.
Which means that it's likely that he may miss some time.
Yeah. And I like a Giannis no Dame season more than what I saw with Dame. Because it's more, okay, Giannis and whoever's open. It's not Giannis, Dame, whoever's open. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's a little more simple for these guys to figure out.
He doesn't have to defer to anybody. And not that Giannis defers, but he feels like, let me at least involve this guy that's coming over, you know, this top 75
It's going to be more, the wealth is going to be spread out a little more.
Yeah.
So I like that. Okay, so we both go over.
Yeah.
Let's move on. New York Knicks, 51-31 last year. 53.5 is the over-under. I took the over, I think. Did I get that wrong? Or did I get it right?
I don't remember.
I know you took the under last year.
Yeah, did I?
I think you got that one right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So where are you at with them?
I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Yeah, with this team, they added some guard depth. You know, Malcolm Brogdon, which is like a recent signing.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson. You know, he's inefficient, but you know he's like a Brunson insurance almost.
There's another guy they added, I think. I'm not.
Yabusele.
Yabusele. Yeah, Gershon Yabusele. Okay. Nice pickup. You know, just depth, guys.
Depth. Yeah. And, you know, they don't have Tibbs anymore, so it's not like they're going to be playing 6 guys. They're going to be, I guess, maybe spreading the love a little bit more because Mike Brown has evolved as a coach.
Yeah.
You know, in his early years, he was defense first type of coach. Yeah. And then when he spent some time with Steve Kerr,
kind of changed.
You could kind of see him, you know, they broke some records in Sacramento. Granted, they had some good point guards there.
Yeah.
He has a good point guard now. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that they're going to have a better offensive season.
Mm-hmm. Better offensive season. They were top 5 last year.
Oh, sorry.
That's you mean like what? Like, what do you mean? By the rating or just like?
I mean more like more the eye test because previously they were either spamming Cat Brunson pick and roll. Yeah, less predictable because that eventually ended up causing them some wins at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So no more Brunson Cat pick and rolls.
Well, they're still going to be.
They're going to still do it, but now I think they're going to share a little bit more because, you know, when you have...
they have to. Yeah.
OG and Miles... no, not
McBride?
Miles. Not Miles Bridges.
Or Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Standing in the corners.
Yeah.
You know, instead you get to use them a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. There's got to be more usage on them.
And I think they're going to be one of the top teams.
Yeah. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
We know that.
Like probably the second seed is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so far, I mean, I think we have only the Cavs as a 50-plus win team. We have the Knicks we have as a 50-plus. I don't think we've talked about any other 50-plus win team right now, right?
Yeah, in the East now, yeah.
Okay, which is pretty... That allows us to kind of be more... We feel good about the over now, right? Because someone's got to win 50,
Somebody has to
win,
you
would think. So, all right, cool. So, man, look, I just want to say this before I'm taking the over, right? I'm with you. I think this team is going to just dominate. They kind of know their formula now. You know, they have a different coach. We'll see how that works out. You know, I like Mike Brown. I liked Tibbs. I think he did as good of a job as anyone could have with what he had last year. You know, it didn't sit well with people, them losing to the Pacers, because they felt like, look, man, the Celtics, they went down, obviously, because of the Tatum injury. And they were beating the Celtics anyway. They weren't even playing championship basketball in that series. So, you know, this looked like a year for the Knicks to get to the finals. Yeah. You know, I had shifted, like when the Knicks started playing the Pacers, before the series started, I picked the Pacers because I just loved the team continuity, just the chemistry and that. There was just, that is hard to guard. And then on top of that, they're doing it on the defensive end, which the Knicks were struggling with through a lot of points throughout the year. So, like, here's what Brunson did in the playoffs. I know this is a regular season pod, but just to go over how much of a machine this guy is, man. Against the Pistons, 34, 37, 30, 32, 40.
Insane.
Yeah. Pacers in the conference finals, 43, 36, 31, 32. It's like, he's going to do it, and he does it. Like, when you get to that level where you're the main guy that we know is going to get the ball every single time, and you're still dropping 40, you're special.
He was hitting some big shots.
Jalen Brunson is
he's
just all-time great, man.
Hats off, man.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal guard. So, okay, so we both take the over. Let's go to the Orlando Magic.
Your team.
Yes, one of my favorite teams for a while now.
Play the music.
We'll cue the music. All right, so 41-41, injuries all over the place. This team honestly did really well with all the injuries that happened. Jalen Suggs. Yeah, you know what? Let me actually go through it. So they won 41 games in a season where Suggs played 35 games. Mo Wagner tore his ACL, played 30 games. He's one of the better bench scoring guys, by the way, Mo Wagner. Paolo played 46 games with the oblique injury. They had Franz, who also had the oblique injury. He played 60 games.
That was weird.
KCP had one of the worst, if not the worst season of his career, right? Like, this was a horrible KCP. I mean, he was so bad, the Magic traded him right away. You know what I mean? Like, the season's over, get out of here. So it's like that type of thing. And then to see them still go 41-41 is very impressive. And honestly, I mean, it's their defense. They are one of the best defensive teams in the league. That's what they hang their hat on. And look, man, they added Bane. I did a video on the Magic. It got a lot of love. I used some data to kind of show how he fits and things like that. Tyus Jones, really good replacement for Cole Anthony. Personally, I think he's a better individual player.
Agreed.
They're kind of like, I guess you could make an argument tier list wise, like maybe they're in the same kind of place. Maybe some people like Tyus Jones more. I think Cole Anthony's still, Cole's younger, right? Like, I feel like Tyus Jones been around.
Yeah, he was, I think, from 2015 draft.
I could be wrong, but I feel like Tyus Jones is old. Or at least older than him.
Yeah, he was in that Duke championship team back in 2015.
Yeah, so he's definitely... So, and then they get a 71-game season from Jonathan Isaac, which was, like, unheard of. That was one of the great stories of the year. Yeah. The great defensive player. He just does it all for you defensively. Yeah. They drafted Jace Richardson. Really liked him a lot. He played at Michigan State. I did a video on him after a couple of games in Summer League. He's going to be awesome. I think he's a sleeper pick. Nice little diamond in the rough there. Paolo's going to be a superstar. Like, that's, I mean, this guy is absolutely special. And if you want a reminder, go watch him against the Celtics in the first round. Yeah. This guy was unstoppable, doing it everywhere. Pull-up threes, step-back threes, fadeaways, getting to the rim. He looked like LeBron. Yeah. That's kind of how I explained it.
I agree.
This guy was unbelievable. How he fits with Franz, that still remains to be seen. I'm watching Franz play in Eurobasket. He still can't shoot it, man. Last time I tracked this, this was 6 games from the group stage to the first round, 7 for 21 from 3. And the line is shorter in FIBA. So it's like, what's going on? Are you going to be someone that is going to constantly be guarded by centers so they can close out late on you and clog the paint and guard Paolo? Or are you going to develop, because Paolo's developing. His shot's improving. I feel like I've talked a lot. I'm taking the over on this team. I think they're going to be a 50-plus win team because, one, we don't have many of them. We talked about that. We have 2, I think. So if I'm going to bank on someone, I'm going to bank on a team that I feel like is better this year. And assuming they're going to be healthier. And 50 sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. So, a few years ago, there was an Eastern Conference season where I think it was like 4 teams had 48 wins.
Yeah.
I think something similar happens this year. I don't think the Magic are going to get to 50, and I'll tell you why. Okay. In order for you to get to 50, I feel like you need to have an above-average offense. Now, does Bane alone? He may, but... Remember, their offense was dog water.
It was bad. Year. It was awful.
Like, it was...
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, their defense was practically saving them.
Yeah.
Even when, Franz and Paolo were playing together last year, they were still losing games.
Yeah.
And granted, Suggs was out.
Yeah.
Understood. But
yeah.
Suggs is going to improve their defense, but I'm counting
defense
on them
takes you
being
a long way, man.
I'm counting on them being top 4 in the East,
Mm-hmm.
but not at 50 wins.
Do you think they win more than the Hawks this year?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But I have the Hawks also like at 43 or something.
That's true. That's true.
I do
high, man. Trust me. I didn't want to. My first note when I saw it, I was like, I'm not falling for the bait. I'm taking the under. But I'm going through this and I'm like, let me believe in a team that I love. So you know what? I'm going to take the over on them. Okay, so you take the under. I take the over. Fair. 76ers. How this team continues to be cursed. I don't know what they've done.
Yeah, man.
You know what? It's all that tanking that they did.
The basketball
under
gods.
Sam Hinkie, the basketball gods have responded in a nasty way. Nasty, dirty way. I'm taking the under on the 42.5. I am done believing in what this team can do. On paper, if they're healthy, yes, over. I can't believe in it anymore. You got, first of all, so I just jumped into this because I'm excited about this one. You hear that Embiid's not going to play back-to-backs.
Already.
Then the first report you hear is they're going to play the most back-to-backs as a team. They're going to play 16 or 18 back-to-backs, which ties them for number one. It's like the Nuggets and then some other teams. So that's like NBA slapping them in the face. Like, oh, yeah? All right, well, you're going to lose a lot of games this year if they can't win without Embiid. Paul George, man, he's 35, knee surgery. He looks like he's on the downside of that career now.
Yeah.
You pair that with no back-to-backs with Embiid, if that's really a constant. So they're going to be in and out of lineups. A lot of that falls on Maxey. We know what Maxey looks like when he doesn't have the help. He doesn't look great, and how could you expect him to do much? He's a special, talented guy, but that's a lot to not have. They drafted VJ Edgecombe, good draft pick. He's going to be special, hopefully. But, again, like, you got a guy that's not going to play 65 games, probably, Embiid, which means they're going to have to do a lot of work without him.
Yeah, what scares me about Embiid is that there's no timetable for his return.
That's another problem.
So it's almost like you're going into the season and it's like, is Embiid going to play?
We don't even know.
I don't know.
Bona's nice. You know Bona?
Oh, Bona. I remember the Heat playing them and nobody could score around the rim. Everybody was scared to score around the rim because this guy was blocking everything.
And in Eurobasket, he's balling.
Yeah, man.
Looks good. So are we taking the under, both of us?
I had a hard time because, Maxey's coming back. You're assuming he's going to be better. Done. Jared McCain had a good,
Like Jared McCain.
VJ Edgecombe is like...
He's going to help.
He reminds me of like a young Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
But, man, it's... After that's it. Yeah, you're right. That's a really hard one. I would not bet on this team at all.
Let's say Embiid plays 40 games, right?
Which is...
Let's say 50. Okay, which that could be considered a lot at this point. Are they winning 43 games? Are they? Because how does he feel on some of those games where he's actually playing?
Yeah,
he's not going to be 100% every game.
Exactly.
So there's going to be also those games, And then Paul George, maybe there's going to be games where he's not playing. This is not.
Yeah, gun to my head, I'll take the under.
I'm taking the under. Let's get out of here, man. I don't just think about the Sixers. It's stressful. All right. Toronto Raptors, 37.5. Pretty high over number for them.
Yeah.
This to me is an easy gamble on the over.
Really?
I'm going, I guess it's a surprise over then. That's my surprise over, and I'll tell you why. We didn't see Ingram play for them yet. Right?
No.
So,
right.
And look, I'm not an Ingram guy, but I know Ingram's good. Good NBA player. He can score. This guy can give you 20. Flat out. You give him the ball, he's going to find 20. That helps take pressure off of Scotty Barnes. Now, here's the problem. They both kind of score in similar areas of the floor. So spacing-wise, they were one of the worst shooting teams in the league. This is like, they signed Jakob Poeltl. I like him. Percentage of the cap, say what you want. He did get paid a lot, but, he's a good center. He's one of the better centers in the league. I think people sleep on him,
Maybe, but I think because he's not flashy,
he's not flashy at all.
He's not flashy. Yeah. So, and you also forgot to mention RJ Barrett, who had a sneaky good season. I know, me neither. But he also scores in the same areas as
similar guy, right?
And I think we were texting, and I told you that with Toronto Raptors, I see them as prison ball. It's gonna be
nasty.
It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be defense. They have Jamal Sheed, who's pretty good defensive point guard.
I like him. Yeah.
It's an expensive roster, but man, I think it's just gonna be. I don't think they get to 38. I think it's gonna be right below that. I had a hard time honestly choosing, because I could see it if everything works out well, but then it's just too many guys that are operating in the mid range. Not enough shooting.
It's a lot to ask. Yeah, the spacing's kind of weird. Is Scotty Barnes gonna he's a great player, really good player, has a lot of talent, and we talked about this last year. Is he gonna be the number one guy on a team?
Yeah,
and I think the answer is no. I think on the safe side, he could be your third best player on a championship team.
I could argue he could be second.
Yeah, but I'm saying on the safe side.
Yeah,
if you really want to push it. If he's your third best player, you're in a really good place.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You could argue maybe if he's your second best player, you've got something. He's improved a lot. So, I struggle with it, because I look at RJ Barrett. It's he's not a good shooter. All right, well, he's not a good shooter. Well, he's also an average finisher. Oh, okay. Average finisher. Well, maybe he defends. He's not really he's not. He's a good player because, look, man, you're looking at the numbers.
Yeah, you look at the numbers.
21, 6, and 5. And you're like, all right, he competes. You know what I mean? He plays hard and all that. The fans actually like him from what I read online. I'm just not a fan. When I feel I don't know what you are. I struggle with guys like that. I feel he should be a 6-man, and he's paid too much to be a 6-man.
Yeah.
But I feel that's where he will show his real value. Being that 6-man on a better contract, now maybe I end up liking him. Okay, so I go over, you go under. Wizards. Do we need to spend a lot of time on the Wizards? Probably not.
What are you thinking?
Under. 21.5 is really low. This team's going to be really bad. I wanted it to be a surprise over.
I wanted to do it. I'm thinking I'm leaning over just because, they finally got some adults in the room. They got Middleton.
They had Valanciunas last year.
Yeah, but Valanciunas was...
They had Brogdon.
He had his... They got CJ McCollum now.
Okay.
So I don't know if that... You know what? But CJ McCollum wasn't really impacting winning either in New Orleans. So.
Year 2, Alex
honestly... you
Cam Whitmore.
I'm taking the under. I was trying to see if I could convince myself. I have it here maybe over, but I'm thinking under, really.
Look, man, if be a bad team. If you want to watch someone fun, watch Trey Johnson on the Wizards. He's their lottery pick. I am a huge fan of this guy. He balled out in Summer League. He's a bucket. This dude, there's no shot he doesn't like. And this guy is special. He's a workhorse. I was looking at some of his workouts. This guy puts up thousands of shots, bro. Not in a day, but something I was reading about him too, and I watched his little mini docuseries on YouTube. This guy is a workhorse, man. Very special talent. I think he's going to be a really good player. Alex Sarr, I did a video on him for anyone interested. Going into year 2, let's see if he can embrace the physicality and stuff like that. I don't want to spend too much time because we got a whole conference to do now.
Yep.
So we both got the under. Let's move on to the West.